Hello, my name is Angel and welcome to my presentation. Today we'll be exploring the critical issue of modern digital media and human development and how Instagram curated reality implements adolescent self-worth and identity. Social media platforms have transitioned from simple communication tools into powerful cultural environments. Over the next few minutes, we will look at how Instagram specific design forces teenagers to manage a digital persona, the severe psychological and emotional tolls of this constant comparison, and how a biblical overview offers a necessary stabilizing counter narrative to the fleeting validation that social media provides. The stakes of identity formation in a digital age. To fully understand the issue, we must first recognize that adolescence is a foundational period for figuring out who they are and creating their foundation to stand on. Historically, this happens in schools and neighborhoods, but now it's happening more on image-centric platforms just like Instagram. The problem is that Instagram is not a reflection of real life, but a curated one that has a highly manifested ecosystem governed by an algorithm that rewards physical perfection or extreme lifestyles. This forces vulnerable teenagers to constantly compare their messy, everyday realities with polished, edited highlight reels of their peers, and complete shifts how they calculate their own life values. Instagram, as an active and creative environment, has created this. Visual narratives and personal branding. What stands out is the platform design when you think of Instagram. Scholarly research by Apuk notes that for Gen Z, Instagram acts as a hub for identity representation and aesthetic branding. Teenagers aren't just sharing memories, but also managing an online brand. In our textbooks, Barron points out modern mobile devices have blurred lines between one's private life and commercial space. Instagram has tools available for teenagers to use filters, editing, and calculated posting schedules as corporates and influencers do, and they have a bigger budget. They have more the majority of time multi-millions of dollars to be able to create a persona that will really target their audience. Social comparison and body dissatisfaction. Now that we have an understanding of how the app is designed to draw us in and keep us using the platform, let's look at the direct psychological consequences. The main driver of distress on Instagram is social comparison. As scholar Bergram pointed out that the digital self is a persona that is curated online and often narrows an adolescent's horizon, which leads to chronic self-doubt. They aren't just looking at pictures that are heavily edited. They are measuring their own self-worth against them. Because Instagram is mostly visual, this comparison is focused heavily on the physical appearance. Research by Maiden states that the internalization of thin or athletic ideas through social media acts as a significant mediator in the journey of eating disorders. This connects with Zhao's research as well about passive use of social media and aimlessly scrolling through feeds, which is also associated with comparison and low self-esteem in youth. Continuously absorbing endless streams of edited media and bodies leads to digital dysmorphia, which is in turn teaching them to reject the real world reflection because they can't compete with what they see on screen. They don't understand that they are competing with an algorithm illusion. neurobiology, and cognitive overload. The platform explores the adolescent's brain chemistry to secure more clicks through the algorithm. Gene research shows that adolescence demonstrates heightened neurobiological sensitivity to social media feedback loops compared to adults, leading to a sharp dip in self-esteem. Because the adolescent brain is highly responsive to peer approval, quantifiable metrics on Instagram such as likes, views, and comments become an emotional roller coaster. A drop on digital engagement feels like a social rejection to them. The constant demand to monitor social media has an impact on the cognitive energy that teens as well. Apuk's research found that excessive social media use with psychological strain led to an estimated 20% loss of study efficiency caused by frequent social media multitasking. In the textbooks, Barron frames this border crisis as digital fatigue. This is when a relentless amount of information and constant pressure digitally decreases a person's overall quality of life. Teenagers become consumed with documenting and tracking their lives rather than experiencing life or valuing present moments. Scripture, media literacy, and conclusion. As Christian scholars, we look for a biblical overview that provides an anchor for identity, and I think Genesis 1:27 establishes that God created mankind in his own image. This deconstructs the Instagram's algorithms because we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others when we are made in God's image. If a teenager value is assigned by their creator, it is unchangeable. It doesn't fluctuate based on peer validation or feedback loops. To hear body dissatisfaction, Psalms 139:14 states, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. This scripture can remind the youth that physical reality is intentional and by God. Another verse that connects with this is Romans 12:2, which states, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This instructs to not be conformed to the world, but transformed by renewing one's mind. In social media, the culture renewing requires in our social media culture, renewing requires resisting an algorithm's pattern that dictates worldly success. And to connect it all together, combining media literacy with spiritual growth, Breluum, not that research states that not by faith-based identity provides a unique that the research states that providing faith identity provides a unique spiritual resilience that allows adolescents the ability to resist negative peer influence and digital pressure. We combine this spiritual shield with media literacy concepts for the adolescents so they can deconstruct images, editing, and algorithms that are used to profit off of them. And by doing this, it loses its power. To conclude, true identity does not belong to smartphone screens or algorithms. It belongs to our Creator.